Hello everyone, welcome back to our 30-day yoga pose challenge. I am Nicole and this is Peace Love Yoga. So today, day 2, we are working on another foundational pose, which will be part of our sun salutation A. This is Uttanasana, standing forward fold. And there are many forward folds in yoga. They can be standing, they can be seated, they can be wide legs. So we're going to work on just our basic standing forward fold. We're going to start with mountain pose from yesterday. So again, a lot of these poses will build onto each other, and that's why it's good to kind of go back and start with basics and start from the beginning, because you will always use them. So for standing forward fold, we're going to set up, and I'm going to turn to the side just so you can watch my hips a little bit. So what you want to do is feet, big toes touching. And I do want to also say that big toes touching might play with your balance a little bit. So as we mentioned yesterday, we want to keep our core engaged, but here's just an option. You can stand with your feet a little farther apart. Okay, so it can be this, or it can be this. For the most part, I think I like mine a little bit separated. I was going to say for forward fold, but I think I usually do keep them a little bit farther apart. Okay, now we want to balance the weight on the ball of our foot and the heel. So if we lift up our toes like we did yesterday, we have a visitor. We lift up the toes like we did yesterday. That kind of will distribute the weight evenly, and then just plant them back down, and that'll keep everything neutral so we don't have a pelvic tilt either way. Okay, so we're going to take our hands just for purposes of demonstration and just to feel the pose. Put your hands on your hips and wrap your thumb behind to the back, just so you have you're holding onto your hips. So we are pushing down with our feet. Energy. That was a fly. This is ridiculous. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it because it's real life, guys. Okay. We were in a class, we couldn't laugh about it, but since we're going through a tutorial, we can just laugh a little bit. Cat's on the desk. Dog is waiting for the cat outside the door. Back to what we're doing. Okay. Pushing down into the mat, energy is flowing up. You can think of it as if you were squeezing a block in between your thighs. We have our hands on our hips. As we fold, the reason we have our hands here is we're going to fold from our hips, not from our waist. So it's not going to be starting from here. So it's starting from here. Okay? So, feet pushing down into the mat. Toes touching or not. Energy flowing up. Neutral pelvis. Hands on our hips. We're going to actually inhale through our nose. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge and fold from our hips. So my back is flat. We'll stop about here, about halfway with a flat back. Now, we're going to remember to breathe. If your hamstrings are already screaming, it happens, it's okay. They are going to be tight, especially if you are not used to folding this way, and that's okay. So, here's what we're going to do. Bend your knees, bend them a lot. I want to have you feel the connection of your chest against your thighs. So really bend deep into them. Set your hands down, if you can, and your head drops. Okay, so you can see here, in my knees, my hands are touching. And then over time, we'll start maybe to bend your knees, maybe not. If there is any discomfort in your lower back, bend those knees. Okay, so to stand, I want you to place your hands back on your hips with that thumb around the back, just to give some support, and you're going to rise slowly. Okay, so standing forward fold. This time we're going to hang like a rag doll, okay? So you'll hear this a lot in class, usually in the beginning of the class as you start warming up and building, before you really build your heat, just to get your body moving. So I'm going to turn to the side again. Set up through our feet, pushing down to the mat. Find that center of balance. Inhale and start to fold. You can hear my exhale. Don't forget to breathe. Breathing will give you some length always. Okay, now, if your back is starting to round, this might be enough. Maybe you put your hands on your shins and you drop your head. Or maybe you bend slightly your knees. You can touch the ground with your fingertips and drop your head. If you have anything like block books available, you can use that as well. My knees are pretty bent. You'll see people that can wrap all the way around. This is probably about it with my knees and my back, and that's okay. It's more than I could do before, and it's, I guess, gets better every day. So, ragdoll. You're going to grab your opposite elbows with your hands in that same position. We're just rocking from side to side until you find a little stillness. Then we're going to inhale, lifts us up a little, and exhale, folds us down a little deeper. Having our head hang lower than our heart calms the mind. It's very calming. I have heard this described as you're hanging forward. Imagine you're dumping all your worries, all your problems away for the day so that you can focus on your practice. We're going to rise back to stand by supporting our weights, our hips, and slowly rolling back up. So that is Uttanasana, forward fold. Yesterday we learned mountain pose, and today was Uttanasana, forward fold. They build onto each other. In the beginning of our sun salutation A, we'll start with our mountain pose. We will inhale up. This is a salute. I will not be showing this pose necessarily, but we will talk about it each day. So kind of, it will be a bonus pose, I guess. And as we dive forward, this is our forward fold. Okay? So there's an example of putting two poses together, and like I said, upward salute in the middle of the forward fold and mountain pose. Won't be a specific pose, but I talked about it today. We'll talk about it each day as we build a pose on until after day 6, when we have the full sun salutation A that we can do together. And then we work on 2 additional poses, which will allow us then to do sun salutation B. So just a little bit each day really will make a difference. I know it might seem boring at times, but it's really good to just take these 10 minutes to do a little bit of practice, hanging, folding, ragdolling, just creating that space and time for yourself so that when we put it all together, you'll have more confidence, know the basics, know the foundations, and you'll be able to concentrate on your breathing and moving without worrying. What are they doing the whole time, right? So thank you for day 2, standing forward fold. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, ask any questions you may have, and thank you for joining me. Namaste.